What's going on, my Central Unit? It's your friendly neighborhood Central here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. 2 weeks ago, I reviewed Survivor Series of 2003. On that show, you had Team Bischoff versus Team Austin Survivor Series match. Team Bischoff won that match. After result, Austin is forced out of the WWE, stepped down as the Raw co-GM. It's the way to rid of Stone Cold Steve Austin as a full-time character, giving Austin that send-off he never got in Seattle in March earlier in the year. So it got me thinking, it's in that pose, no more Stone Cold in WWE. I'm going to review the final WWE pay-per-view of 2003, that is Armageddon of 2003. So this show was at the TD Waterhouse Center. Right now it's called the Amway Arena in Orlando, Florida, on the 14th of December 2003. The attendance of the show was 12,672. Armageddon 2003 received about 200,000 pay-per-view buys. I think it's a downgrade than the previous year's Armageddon show in 2002. The main event of that show was Shawn Michaels versus Triple H in a 3 Stages of Hell match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H regained the belt after Shawn won the title at Survivor Series in the first Elimination Chamber match. Armageddon 2002 received about 335,000 pay-per-view buys. By the way, I reviewed Armageddon 02 last year on this channel. Go and check it out. So, the 2003 edition of Armageddon, this is a Raw exclusive Armageddon show because, you know, this is the 3rd ever Raw branded pay-per-view because they've been start doing these brand only pay-per-views in the summer of 2003. By the way, this is the one and only Raw exclusive Armageddon show because the next 3 installments of Armageddon will be a SmackDown exclusive show, and then the final Armageddons in WWE history will be a trio branded show in 2007 and 2008. Anyway, so the commentators for Armageddon of 2003, we got JR and The King. So this show is memorable because this marks the 20th anniversary of the show. Oh yeah, it's memorable for, spoiler alert, Evolution winning all the gold and basically got all the power. So I'll get to that Evolution win all the gold later on in this review. So like I said, this is the post Austin in WWE. Like I said, got forced out in November the previous month at Survivor Series. So Bischoff is, you know, abusing his power. Mick Foley is the Raw co-GM. I'll get to Foley as the Raw GM later on in this review. By the way, I'm just like pointing out, you know, what happened after Survivor Series. You know, it's just what it is. Anyway, so the one match on Heat, you got Rico with Miss Jackie. That's Jackie Guyder, the think the future wife of Charlie Haas. Defeat John Heidenreich in 1 minute and 28 seconds. Never knew John Heidenreich. I know John Heidenreich ended up going to SmackDown with The Undertaker, but in this installment, in 2003, he debuted. He was kind of like a fan, you know. It's kind of, I don't want to get into it, you know. It's very, yeah, I know he appeared in 2004, you know, feuding with The Undertaker, and soon teamed up with Road Warrior Animal to reboot the Legion of Doom. Anyway, so the first match to kick off Armageddon of 2003, we got Booker T taking on Mark Henry with Theodore Long, holla 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 player in the corner of the World's Strongest Man. So this is a continuation of that Team Austin, Team Bischoff match, you know. You had Mark Henry eliminate Booker T. And after Survivor Series, you know, they end up fighting. It was kind of like one-sided, you know, Mark Henry getting the one step ahead of Booker T, attacking him in the process. You know, him with the World Strongest Slam, and then I think he locked Booker T with the bear hug. The match was good. It was a good opener. It's speed versus agility. Oh no, sorry, agility. You know, speed. It's the same thing. Taking on strength, you know, Booker T represents, you know, speed and agility. Mark Henry represents strength. It was a really good match, you know. Not like a 4-star classic, but it was a good, decent opener to kick off the pay per view. Like the ending was a bit rushed, by the way. Booker T just managed to hit Mark Henry with a second scissors kick. Hit Henry with the first one early in this match, but I don't think he pinned him. But Booker T beat Mark Henry to win this match. It's a win, get Booker T, get that win back. Both of them are the native Texans. Booker T is from Texas, by the way, and Mark Henry is also from Texas. Actually, I'm lying. He was born in Louisiana, by the way. Forgot to mention that. I thought he was from Texas, Booker T. I was wrong. Mark Henry is from Texas. I forgot to. I thought like Booker T was from Texas. He's from Houston, but no, he was born in Louisiana. Maybe he grew up in Texas, but I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, it was a way to have Booker T get that win. Beat Mark Henry, because I think at the time Mark Henry was not really doing anything lately. He ended up not leaving the company. I think he ended up going to OVW to get more seasoning of his character. Came back in like 2005, but it's just what it is, man. But besides that, it was a fun match to kick off the pay-per-view. Anyway, so after this match, you got Mick Foley coming out. By the way, he's now the second co-Raw GM in history, because the first one was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like I said, this is the first post Stone Cold Steve Austin Raw exclusive pay-per-view, because Austin is no longer the Raw GM. After that, Bischoff, he's throwing his weight around, abusing his power. So Linda McMahon hired Mick Foley as another co-Raw GM to stop Bischoff abusing his power. Mick Foley's doing his campaign to bring Austin back to the WWE in any capacity, reinstate him. By the way, he ended up showing up at Tribute at the Troops. By the way, and also referee the Goldberg Lesnar match at WrestleMania 20. But anyway, so Foley's doing his campaign, signing a lot of petitions to get Austin back into the company. He informed the audience at the TD Waterhouse Center that they got like 1 million signatures signed to get Austin back in the company. And then you got Stacy Keibler, for whatever reason, dressed up like a cheerleader, doing the acrobatic stuff. Foley's trying to do that, he didn't really drop on his head. He's trying to do a cartwheel, but he did like some kind of bump. I don't know. It's kind of like not really serving a purpose. I said it once. I said it before. I'm gonna say it many more times. Save it on Raw. Why are you doing this on a pay per view that at the time you're spending a lot of money? But anyway, so you got Randy Orton, showing up. He said he don't care about Austin, don't care your signatures. But anyway, so the next match, we've got Randy Orton with represent Evolution with his Evolution teammate Ric Flair in his corner, taking on RVD. Yeah, RVD defend the Intercontinental Championship against Randy Orton with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. So I think the only build up to this, you had RVD causing a match against Ric Flair, the previous month on Raw. So that led to Orton challenging RVD for the title. By the way, he eliminated RVD at the still the continuation of the Team Bischoff, Team Austin feud going into this pay per view. By the way, Orton eliminated RVD in that match of Survivor Series, so that's the reason he's got a title shot on this show. Anyway, this match is good, man. It's I think it's technically the match of the night. It was really good. I think you can say there's some chemistry there between, like the opener. There's some chemistry between Henry and Booker T, and then you got chemistry in this match between RVD and Randy Orton. Man, it was a really good match. RVD did his RVD stuff. Orton doing the technical style. Ric Flair didn't really get involved. I'm really shocked, but one more of the match, he's trying to deck RVD, he grabbed I think it was a brass knuckles, but Mick Foley stopped him. Anyway, like the Booker T Mark Henry match, this was also a bit rushed, After Mick Foley decked Ric Flair, Orton kicked RVD. We set up the 5-star frog splash, but instead Orton kicked him off the top rope, hit the RKO, and beats him. That was a bit out of nowhere. I wish I had more time. It's just kind of weird. 2 matches on the show, had like rush finishes. But anyway, so yeah, it was a really good match. And by the way, this was Orton's first championship match, first championship in his career. Because he's been in the company for 1 year. He debuted in April the previous year. So far, 1 year later, he's won his first championship. This is Orton's first and only Intercontinental Championship he won in his career. And the next time he win a mid-card gold will be 15 years later when he won the United States Championship. Orton went on to hold on the IC title for 7 months until dropping the belt to Edge at Vengeance in July the following year. Orton will end up feuding with Mick Foley in the start of 2004. They'll kind of, started at the Royal Rumble, then continue it until WrestleMania 20 at MSG, Evolution versus Rock and Sock Connection, and their match at Backlash in April. And I think Orton is now, Orton was 23 at the time. I think he is the youngest Intercontinental Champion in history. I think his record still stands. No, he wasn't. The youngest champion was Jeff Hardy. It's a shot to me. I thought Orton was the youngest. I know Orton became the youngest world champion in history, but I thought he became the youngest Intercontinental Champion in history. But no, I was wrong. But it was a good way to have Orton winning his first piece of gold in his career. First of many who'll win for the next 15 years. It's funny right now. Crow in Thailand is back. He's on SmackDown. Could I see Orton winning more championship gold in 2024? Time will tell. So anyway, moving on to the next match. This is a Battle of the Sexes intergender tag team match. Chris Jericho and Christian taking on Lita and Trish Stratus. This is the start of this storyline between Chris Jericho and Trish Stratus. Chris starting to have any feelings towards Trish Stratus. Lita, she came back to the company after her neck injury. And now she kind of like briefly reunited with Matt Hardy because now he's on Raw. Dumped Lita, and then Lita got fired by Eric Bischoff. Then Christian got one of his favors he gained after the Team Bischoff, Team Austin match at Survivor Series. He used his favor to get Lita rehired from the company, so Lita is now rehired. So this segment begins with they did this bet. Jericho and Christian did this bet. Who will have sex with Lita or Trish? Betting on $1 Canadian. So, Lita and Trish, they feel betrayed. They don't care about them. They care about banging them. This is the Ruthless Aggression era, folks. This is, at the time, the product is edgy. Compare it right now, it's now PG. Anyway, so, this match was good. I think it was a fun match, You don't see a lot like these intergenders match in today's product, like you got some like wet wipes, people get soft, they say, oh, you can't beat a woman, blah blah blah. Don't want to get into it, but anyway, it was a really good match, fun match to watch, Jericho spanking Trish in the ass. Christian was a bit of a prick in this match, like one more of the match ripping off Lita's top. I'm trying to keep it short and simple, folks. I was really shocked about this match. It was 6 minutes long. I thought it was about 15 minutes. No, it was 6 minutes long. They made the most of what it is. In the end, you had Lita hit Christian with a Hurricane Runner off the top rope. Jericho pulled Lita out of the ring and rammed her into the barricade. And this was still the continuation of this relationship storyline between Chris Jericho and Trish Stratus. Jericho picked up Jericho picked up Trish, picked her up her feet, and then in the end, Christian rolled up Trish Stratus for the win. Jericho and Christian won this match, And that was it. It was still storyline progression between Jericho and Trish Stratus, And this was the beginning of the end of this relationship between Jericho and Christian, because it's leading up to, Christian being like just third wheel, attacking, Trish Stratus, locking Trish with the walls of Jericho. It's just planting the seeds of Jericho Christian at WrestleMania 20 that led to Trish turning on Chris Jericho, and then it led up to the Backlash match. It was a handicap match between Jericho versus Christian and Trish Stratus, and this is leading up to the debut of Tyson Tonko. That's another story for another time. But this match between Chris Jericho, Christian, Lita, and Trish, it was fun. So the next match, we got Shawn Michaels taking on Batista, represent Evolution, with Ric Flair in the corner of the Animal. Still in this continuation aftermath between Team Bischoff versus Team Austin. Michaels was the last member of Team Austin. He eliminate Jericho and Christian. He's facing Randy Orton. And then, you had Austin came down, you had Bischoff attacking Shawn Michaels, hitting him with a karate chop, made Austin to get in the ring, hit Orton with the stunner, Bischoff with the stunner, chasing Bischoff out of the ring, and then you got Batista, came to the ring, hit Shawn with the Batista bomb, helping Randy Orton win that match to make Austin forced out of the company, So it's a continuation, of that feud between Shawn, and this is still a continuation of Shawn feuding other members of Evolution, because Shawn is taking a break off this rivalry between him and Triple H. They end up reviewing that rivalry in the start, the end of, really a few weeks later on Raw, the final Raw of 2003, and continue on at the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania 20, I think it was at Backlash and Bad Blood, and they had the final match of that rivalry at Taboo Tuesday in October to end the 2-year rivalry of Shawn Michaels and Triple H. So anyway, this match is good, man. This was also good as well. Dave was a bit green. I'm referring to Dave. Dave, that's the real life name of Dave Bautista. It's Dave Bautista. His first name is Dave. Dave was a bit green. He'll become a better worker, years to come, when he was a main event player on SmackDown, when he was the world champion. But anyway, I think Shawn carried Dave to a good, passable match. It was a really good match, by the way. Like the Booker T Mark Henry match from the opener, it's speed versus strength. Shawn Michaels represents speed and agility. Batista represents the strength. Batista working on the back of Shawn Michaels, the low back that really cost Shawn Michaels 4 years of his career. I don't think Flair got involved. Flair was about to attack Shawn, and Shawn basically clothesline Ric Flair. Didn't really. It's funny going back to Shawn's feud with other members of Evolution, because Shawn and Ric Flair had their match at Bad Blood, the first Raw exclusive pay-per-view in June. Ric Flair won, and then fast forward months later, he lost to Randy Orton at Unforgiven. Because Evolution trying to make sure it's 3-0 against Shawn Michaels. One more. I feel like one more of the match. You had Batista locking in some kind of rest hold onto Shawn Michaels' back. He's basically putting his knee on Shawn Michaels' lower back, and Ric Flair, I think it was kind of funny. He shout, I can't remember what he said. I think he said to a fan, "Shut up, fat boy," something like that. I think I can't remember. I don't want to get into it, but anyway, it was speed versus agility. It was really good. I think one more of the match, Shawn trying to hit the switching music, Batista counting it with I think it was a spine buster. I think he's trying to go for a spine buster earlier. I'm trying to remember, folks. And then I think Shawn counted into a DDT, did the elbow drop off the top rope. Anyway, it's very funny. Flair didn't interfere, truly interfere. If you watch Evolution matches, or every member of Evolution matches in this time period, Ric Flair always interfere, or even heel Ric Flair. Great example, if you watch a TNA match with AJ Styles as a heel in 2010. Ric Flair always healed, always get involved. But this, he didn't really truly interfere. That was kind of for the best. Anyway, so in the end, I think it was going for the Batista bomb, but Shawn Michaels hit Batista with the switching music to win this match. And this was Shawn's first, I think it's his first singles match on pay-per-view since beating Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 19 in March, because since then he was losing singles matches on pay-per-view. He was losing I think maybe a Backlash, I don't know, man. I haven't really reviewed Backlash 03 yet, or Judgment Day yet, but mostly the 2003 pay-per-views I cover on this channel, like a Bad Blood, lost Ric Flair. Then he was in the second ever Elimination Chamber match at SummerSlam in August, come out short. Then the following month at Unforgiven, he lost to Randy Orton. Then in November, he lost the Team Bischoff, Team Austin Survivor Series match, and in that video package, building up to the Shawn Batista match, you had Shawn accusing Bischoff. He's the one who forced out Stone Cold Steve Austin, but instead Bischoff blamed this on Shawn because Shawn got pinned. Anyway, so it was a good win for Shawn to get that win, get that, first pay-per-view match win in months. So, and afterwards, Batista, he was revised after he got, at the switching music by Shawn Michaels. He tells Ric Flair, "Did I won?" And Flair, told him he lost, and Batista lost his shit. Then originally it was supposed to be the next match was supposed to be Maven versus Matt Hardy, but instead, Matt Hardy's doing the whole V1 gimmick. That was so over at the time. It's a shame he never get Matt Hardy that proper push he never had. Yeah, he was Cruiserweight champion early in the year, but he never they failed to capitalize on it, in my opinion. But anyway, so. Matt Hardy feed Maven to the wolves. Batista attacked Maven. Hit him with the Batista bomb. And the referee tells Lillian Garcia that Maven is unable to compete. So no one wins in this match. Matt Hardy hit Maven with a mini splash. Grabbed the mic, says, announced he was the winner, and that was it. So yeah, I mean. Matt Hardy going to Raw was a mistake. I think he should have stayed on SmackDown. He was doing fine on SmackDown, doing the V1 gimmick, Afterwards, he ended up turning babyface, feuding with Kane. Then he got injured, and that's just set up the real life rivalry between him, Edge, and Lita in 2005. I'll get to my overall ranking of Survivor Series 2003 at the end of this review. Yeah. So anyway, moving on to the next match. So the next match, we got a tag team turmoil match. I'm trying to get my words out. Yeah, tag team turmoil match for the World Tag Team Championships. The Dudleys defending the belts against La Resistance, Rosie and the Hurricane, Val Finis, Lance Storm, Mark Jindrak and Garrison Cade, Tess and Scott Steiner, and a mysterious opponent. I'll get to that later on. So the first teams to kick off the tag team turmoil match for the World Tag Team Championships. La Resistance, that is Robert Conway and Rene Dupree. Never understand why they have to put Rob Conway in this tag team. Rob Conway he's not Canadian, he's not French, he's not French Canadian, he's American. He's from Kentucky. He's from Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. I prefer they had Rene Dupree and Sylvain Grenier, because it's more believable, because they're actually from I think they're from Quebec. Like I said, Rob Conway's not from, he's not from Quebec. He's from Kentucky. Anyway, so yeah, they take on Rosie and the Hurricane. Rosie is the late brother of the tribal chief Roman Reigns. This was after 3-minute warning was canned. Jamal was gone. Jamal was released, so 3-minute warning was it's canned. So Rosie ended up teaming up with the Hurricane. He's now the superhero in training. He's wearing like a grey t-shirt says, yeah, superhero in training. It stands for shit. Wow. That will never fly today product, but anyway, that was kind of funny. It's kind of a goofy superhero gimmick. At the time, yeah, it got Hurricane over. Yeah, he was one moment. Hurricane was teaming up with Mighty Molly, and then Molly ended up becoming serious. Now he's teaming up with Rosie. Anyway, yeah, Rosie and the Hurricane eliminate La Resistance, and then the next tag teams stepping up was, I think it was Mark Jinrak. Is it Mark Jinrak? I think it was Mark Jin. Yeah, it was Garrison. Yeah, it was Garrison Cade, Mark Jinrak and Garrison Cade. I was right. I try to remember, folks. But anyway, so it's basically his Garrison Cade. That's not his real name. His real name's Lance Cade. He also become Lance Cade when he was teaming up with Trevor Murdoch and teaming up with Chris Jericho. That would be later on in the decade, by the way. Fucking sad, man. In this match, he was 22 years of age. Yeah, it's fucking sad because he died very young. Anyway, he eliminated Rosie and the Hurricane, and then the next tag team coming out was Val Venis and Lance Storm. So early in the year, it was a match on Raw. It was Lance Storm versus Garrison Cade making his debut in the company. Yeah, I think it was in OVW. I think it was in OVW, by the way. Austin showing up. He brought like a pillow and a blanket. He's pretending snoring. He kind of publicly buried Lance Storm. He was doomed forever. He was boring. There were boring chants. And afterwards, he was teaming up with Val Venis to get some personality and charisma. They were sort of a Lance Storm, good worker. Yeah, problem is it was charisma. And personality it was lacking. But anyway, he was better off being a serious heel. The stuff with doing the shit he was doing in WCW, part of Team Canada. Anyway, so they got eliminated by Mark Jimrak and Garrison Cade. He started teaming up with Val Venis. By the way, this is the first time he became Val Venis for a long time. It's funny, like the previous year. It's funny, like early in the year he was Chief Morley. He was Eric Bischoff's assistant, and then months later he's now coming back as Val Venis. I think the gimmick is kind of like outstayed its welcome because it's not the Attitude Era anymore. Yeah, it's still edgy, man. It's kind of like, I don't know, how are you going to fit in the Ruthless Aggression era? Like, it's just never going to work, it kind of would, but I think it's just kind of like, it's like outplaced in this different era in WWE. Anyway, so Jimrak and Garrison Cade eliminate Val Venis and Lance Storm. After eliminate Rosie and the Hurricane. Then the next tag team coming up was the Dudleys. I think, yeah, it was the Dudleys. Bubba Ray and Devon, the World Tag Team Champions. They eliminated Mark Jimrak and Garrison Cade. And then the next tag team stepping up was Tess and Scott Steiner. Yeah, I'm going to say right now, the Raw Tag Team division at that time was a bit shit. Compared to on SmackDown, you got Los Guerreros. You got Guerreros. My apologies, speaking too fast, by the way. You got Los Guerreros. You got the World's Greatest Tag Team. I think you got the Bashins. I think you got the APA. You got some good tag teams on SmackDown in the blue brand, but on the red brand, you got some, not really say hybrid tag teams, but kind of like tag teams people are pairing up for whatever reason. Yeah, Scott Steiner and Tess, nah. As a tag team, not working. It's funny, like they've been feuding in the spring. No, actually, scratch that. I think it's spring into the autumn of 2003. Now Steiner's now a heel. It's just like, he was fighting the honor of Stacy Keibler. They're treating like Stacy Keibler shit, and then all of a sudden teaming up. I don't want to get into that, but anyway, so yeah, you had one more of the match. You had I think it's Steiner and and Tess working on the arm of Bubba Ray Dudley. Anyway, so the Dudleys eliminated Tess and Scott Steiner. I think one of them hit like the Bubba Bomb for the win, and you thought like the Dudleys regained the World Tag Team Championship. But yeah, no, but no. Eric Bischoff came out. He says to win a tag team turmoil match, you got to win. You have to beat all the tag team, in this match. And Bischoff announced the final tag team in this tag team turmoil. We got Ric Flair and Batista of Evolution. By the way, after Batista lost to Shawn Michaels, there was a segment like Batista is losing his shit. He's saying I'm better than him. This is bullshit, Rick. He kind of bleaked out when Batista says bullshit. He trying to says big guys get up. You and I are gonna win some tag team gold around your waist. Batista says I'm the champion. Anyway, they didn't do nothing in this match between Batista, Evolution, and the Dudleys. You had Flair and Batista beating down the Dudleys. Batista hit Devon with the Batista bomb. Ric Flair working on the leg of Bubba Ray Dudley, the future Bully Ray, by the way, in TNA/Impact Wrestling. Locking Bubba Ray with the figure four leg lock. The referee did the 3 count of. Onto basically he didn't really made Bubba Ray didn't tap out. The referee did the 3 count, very confusing. Evolution won this match and captured the second gold of the night. Because Orton won the Intercontinental Championship early in the show. So yeah, makes sense. But the tag team turmoil match, I don't say it was boring. It was kind of bland. Yeah, it was a bit boring. I check it. It was 20 minutes long. 20 fucking minutes, man. I wish they just cut this in half. Yeah, it was just boring. You got tag teams. I'm not supposed to be there. It was just killing time. It was more of a piss break, But it's good to see Batista and Ric Flair of Evolution winning the gold. So moving on to the next match, this is the third of 4 championship matches on the show. You had the Intercontinental title match, the tag team turmoil match for the tag team belts. Now the third one is for the women's championship. Molly Holly defending the belt against Ivory. No build to this. I think Ivory wasn't around around TV at this time. Yeah, she was doing Tough Enough. She ended up phasing out in WWE. I don't think she played a lot in 2003 and not a lot in 2004. She ended up leaving the company in 2005. We won't see her again in, 2018 when she got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Appearances as the women's Royal Rumble matches. One of them just wearing the right sensor gear. But, but in this time period, she was kind of phasing out. Maybe it has to do to her age. I was shocked about her age. Back then, she was 42 years of age. She's in her 60s now. I was shocked about her age. I thought she was in her 50s, but no, she's in her 40s, man. But she became the 3rd oldest competitor in Royal Rumble history. I found out more information. Wow, God, I'll be damned. Anyway, the match sucked. I think it's the worst match of the night. It's very sad because Molly Holly and Ivory, they're kind of good workers, but maybe it has to do with the tag team turmoil match. I think maybe it has to do with the Shawn Batista match. I think people were burnt out after that. Fans did not give a shit about the tag team turmoil match, and now this match between Molly Holly versus Ivory. It's just disappointed. No one gives a shit. It was a pin drop, In the end, you had Ivory kind of throw Molly Holly into the exposed turnbuckle, trying to pin him, pin her. Sorry, I called her a man. But anyway, Molly Holly reversed it, pinned Ivory to win this match and retain the women's title, and that was it. I can't explain more of it. It's just kind of there. I wish I had more time. I'm not saying give it 15 minutes, but I just give it more give it a 10-minute match. But I think it's just barely getting the second gear. I think whole bulk of the match is between you had Molly Holly working on Ivory. I prefer Molly Holly versus Lita at Survivor Series, the previous month than this match at Armageddon. Anyway, moving on to the main event. We got a triple threat match. This is for the World Heavyweight Championship. Goldberg defending the belt against Triple H and Kane. So Goldberg won the big gold belt against Triple H at Armageddon in September. A show I reviewed in the past, last year on this channel. Go and check it out. That was too little, too late. Goldberg should have won the belt at SummerSlam. Then fast forward, at Survivor Series in November, he retained the World Heavyweight Championship against Triple H. Triple H asked Bischoff to have one more rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship, and he got it. And then I think in that match on Raw, Kane got involved, so this match morphed into a triple threat match. Kane coming off to kind of blow off and end the rivalry between him and Shane McMahon. This match between Kane, Goldberg, Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship, it was good, but it was boring. It's similar to the Tag Team Turmoil match from earlier. They're both 20 minutes long, but this is a bit better than the Tag Team Turmoil match, but this was a bit boring. I feel like the Tag Team Turmoil match and this match, I think it's a bit mediocre in my opinion. But besides that, it was okay. I think both trade back and forth. One moment was Triple H Goldberg, next thing Goldberg Kane, and next thing Kane and Triple H. I try to keep it short and simple, folks. I think like one more of the match. You had Goldberg trying to break Triple H's ankle because going back, it's a shade when the bill is leading up to Triple H Goldberg at Survivor Series. Triple H pulling a $1,000 bounty to pull out Goldberg to end his career. That was received by Batista. Goldberg trying to repay the favor to break Triple H's ankle. Unfortunately, Kane stopped him. I think one more in the match. You had Goldberg trying to jackhammer Kane and put him through the announce table, but Triple H stopped him. Kane hit Goldberg with the choke slam. Hit Goldberg with the choke slam onto the announce table, but it didn't break. And then Triple H improvised, hit like some kind of mini splash off the turnbuckle, and put Goldberg through the announce table. It's very like Triple H did like this move off the barricade and onto the announce table. It's very rare because Triple H is not known for doing highest moves off the top rope. He's not known for that. It's kind of rare. But anyway, so Goldberg hit two spears on Triple H and Kane, and then suddenly you got members of Evolution coming out. I think it was Orton and Flair, and then maybe Batista. Kane hit Goldberg with a chokeslam inside the ring. He did it outside the ring, and then you got Batista drag Kane outside the ring. Triple H pinned Goldberg to win this match and regain the World Heavyweight Championship. He won it for a third time, I think, because he was world champion. And, Bischoff awarded Triple H the World Heavyweight title belt in September of 2002. And then he dropped the belt to Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series. Then he regained the title back at Armageddon the following month. That makes him a two-time World Heavyweight champion. Then he held the belt until September of the following year. Drop it to Goldberg. So it's his third reign. By the way, folks, this is still in the reign of terror. This is still in the middle of the reign of terror of Triple H hogging the world title belt. And also, on the screen you see Triple H's face on it, and there was his symbol on the Titantron. And you had I think one of the symbols in on the pay-per-view set, one of them was caught on fire. It wasn't a botch, it was it was match the theme. Because Armageddon is a biblical pay-per-view. Yeah, they stopped it. Maybe it was pissing off. Maybe it can piss off people who's very offensive because they did celebrate. They kind of worship Christianity. But I don't want to get into it. But Triple H regained the World Heavyweight Championship. And in the end, you had Triple H, Flair, Batista, Orton they got all the gold and got the power because Orton won the IC title belt, Flair and Batista won the tag team title belts, and now Triple H is now the World Heavyweight Champion. They celebrate holding the arms in the air to end the show. By the way, Goldberg never got one sniff of the World Heavyweight Championship ever again in his first run in the company. He ended up leaving the company after WrestleMania 20. Next time Goldberg get a sniff at any World Championship gold would be 14 years later at Fastlane 2017 against Kevin Owens, and then 3 years later at I think it was Super Showdown in 2020 against Bray Wyatt the Fiend. I did a fucking rant on that. You know, I might review Super Showdown 2020 in the foreseeable future. You know, yeah, you know, Goldberg is a way to end Goldberg's time, the Goldberg experiment. I said in my review of Survivor Series 2003. Yeah, I think they didn't live up the hype. You know, they put Goldberg in this. You know, that's the reason why Goldberg's run, his push was flopped, because they're trying to make Goldberg who he's not. You know, put him in these longer matches with a story. It did not suit him. You know, he's not known for that. You know, he's better off. You know, they correct Goldberg when he came back to the company a decade later. You know, he's better off competing shorter matches. You know, but anyway, it's just what it is, man. You know, it's just once again Triple H. You know, back in the world title scene. And that, you know, I think Triple H, you know, in that spot so long really hurt the product, you know. It's just what it is, man. You know, I wish that Triple H just, like, put him in a, not just in a, he can put Triple H in a big storyline. You know, it could be still a high-profile storyline, but every time he has to go for the championship, you know. It's just, like, what it is, man. It's just what, you know, it's just like what it is, man. I don't want to get into it, man. It's just what it is, man. You know, I'm repeating myself, but it's just, you know, it's like, I understand why, you know, he's got to be he's the top heel on Raw. So, my overall rating of Armageddon 2003 is an 8 out of 10. Back and forth, giving it an 8 out of 10, a 9.5 out of 10, or a solid 9 out of 10. This is better than the two previous Raw exclusive pay-per-views of the year. It's better than Bad Blood in June and Unforgiven in September. The only match in the bad for me has to be the women's title match between Molly Holly versus Ivory. The tag team title turmoil match was okay. It's not bad, but not great. It's just kind of there. The match of the night has to be, for me, RVD versus Randy Orton for the Intercontinental Championship. I like Shawn Michaels Batista, but I've, you know, it's debatable, but I say Orton versus RVD for the IC title. Yeah, the memorable part of Armageddon 2003 has to be Evolution winning all the gold. You know, like I said. Triple H being in this position that long really hurt the product, you know, because this is still in the reign of terror of Triple H as the world champion. But this group, Evolution, you know, they really established this group as the best faction in the company at the time, you know, probably since DX, or going back earlier than the Hart Foundation in 1997. You know, the last good heel faction was, you could say, Corporation in 98, 99, but I say Hart Foundation in 1997, you know. I kind of like Evolution, you know. People find Evolution to be overrated, but this group is based on the Four Horsemen. It's WWE's version of the Four Horsemen. The concept of Evolution is spanning generations, you know, past, present, future. Triple H represent the present, the here and now. Ric Flair represent the past, and Randy Orton and Batista represent the future, you know. You know, I like factions that can hold the gold and hold the power, you know, winning all the gold. It's very rare, but yeah, I think it's the most memorable part of the show. Not like a must-see, memorable show, but it was, you know, it's good. So, what is your thoughts on Armageddon 2003? Leave your thoughts on the comment section below. Smash the like button, click the like, click the bell. Subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, let's talk about another good WWE faction, The Shield. Last year I reviewed Survivor Series 2012. That's known for the debut of The Shield. Let's talk about their first match in the company when they take on Team Hell No and Ryback in a TLC match. Until then, This is the Sentiment officially signing out. Check you later.